Imagine waking up one morning to discover that the most powerful nation on earth is on the brink of destruction not by a giant empire, but by a single brilliant commander who has done the impossible. He has marched an army across snow-covered mountains with dozens of war elephants, shocking the world. At one point, it seemed that Rome itself might fall forever. Yet history took an unexpected turn, and this epic struggle would shape the future of Western civilization for centuries. This is the incredible story of the Punic Wars, a conflict between two superpowers that lasted more than 100 years and changed the ancient world forever. Before the wars began, the Mediterranean Sea was the center of trade, wealth, and power. Two great civilizations dominated its waters. One was Rome, a rapidly expanding republic with a disciplined army and an unstoppable desire for conquest. The other was Carthage, a wealthy maritime empire located in present-day Tunisia. Carthage controlled important trade routes, possessed a powerful navy, and had become one of the richest cities in the ancient world. For years, both powers expanded their influence. Eventually, their ambitions collided over the island of Sicily. Whoever controlled Sicily would dominate trade across the Mediterranean. Neither Rome nor Carthage was willing to back down. In 264 BC, the First Punic War began. At first, Rome faced a serious disadvantage. It had almost no navy, while Carthage ruled the seas with hundreds of experienced warships. But the Romans refused to accept defeat. Instead of giving up, they captured a damaged Carthaginian ship, carefully studied its design, and built an entirely new fleet. Even then, Roman sailors lacked experience. So they invented a remarkable device called the corvus, a boarding bridge fitted with a large iron spike. Instead of fighting traditional naval battles, Roman soldiers simply crossed the bridge onto enemy ships and fought hand-to-hand, turning sea battles into land battles. The strategy worked brilliantly. After more than 20 years of exhausting warfare, Rome defeated Carthage. The defeated empire was forced to surrender Sicily, pay enormous reparations, and accept humiliating peace terms. Rome had become a major naval power for the first time in its history. But Carthage had not forgotten its humiliation. A Carthaginian general named Hannibal Barca believed that one day his nation would take revenge. According to ancient tradition, he brought his young son before an altar and made him swear eternal hatred toward Rome. That boy's name was Hannibal. No one could have imagined that this child would grow into one of the greatest military commanders in history. Years later, Hannibal expanded Carthaginian territory in Spain. When he attacked the Roman allied city of Saguntum in 219 BC, Rome demanded that Carthage surrender him. Carthage refused. The Second Punic War had begun. Instead of attacking Rome by sea, Hannibal planned something so daring that many believed it was impossible. He marched approximately 50,000 soldiers, thousands of horses, and nearly 40 war elephants from Spain, across southern France, and then over the towering Alps during winter. The journey was a nightmare. Soldiers froze in the snow, horses slipped from narrow mountain paths. Many elephants died from the freezing temperatures. Local tribes attacked from hidden cliffs. By the time Hannibal reached Italy, nearly half of his army had been lost. But he had achieved the impossible. Rome was completely unprepared. Over the next several years, Hannibal inflicted devastating defeats on Roman armies. At the Battle of Trebia, then at Lake Trasimene, and finally, in 216 BC, at the Battle of Cannae, he executed one of the most brilliant military tactics ever recorded. The Romans outnumbered Hannibal nearly 2-1. Confident of victory, they pushed forward with overwhelming force. Hannibal deliberately allowed the center of his army to retreat. As the Roman soldiers advanced deeper into the trap, Carthaginian troops attacked from both sides while cavalry struck from behind. The Roman army was completely surrounded. It became one of history's greatest military disasters. Ancient sources estimate that around 50,000 to 70,000 Roman soldiers were killed in a single day. Even today, Military academies around the world study Hannibal's double envelopment strategy. After Cannae, fear spread across Rome. Many believed the city would soon fall. Yet Hannibal made a surprising decision. Instead of immediately attacking Rome itself, he waited for reinforcements that never arrived. Carthage failed to provide enough troops and supplies. This hesitation gave Rome valuable time to recover. Rome changed its strategy. Rather than confronting Hannibal directly, Roman forces avoided major battles and slowly weakened his army by attacking supply lines and recapturing territory. This cautious approach frustrated Hannibal, but gradually shifted the balance of the war. Meanwhile, a young Roman commander named Publius Cornelius Scipio emerged. Instead of chasing Hannibal through Italy, Scipio attacked Carthaginian territories in Spain, cutting off vital resources. Then he launched an invasion of North Africa itself. Now Carthage faced destruction. Hannibal was recalled home after spending more than 15 years fighting in Italy. In 202 BC, the two legendary generals finally met at the Battle of Zama. This time, Scipio had learned from Hannibal's own tactics. Roman soldiers opened lanes in their formations, allowing the charging elephants to pass harmlessly through. Roman cavalry eventually returned to strike Hannibal's army from behind, repeating the same type of encirclement that Hannibal had once used against Rome. Carthage was defeated. The Second Punic War ended with Rome's greatest victory. Carthage lost its overseas territories, surrendered its fleet, paid massive reparations, and could no longer wage war without Roman permission. Most nations would have disappeared after such a defeat, but Carthage slowly rebuilt its economy. Its growing prosperity alarmed many Roman politicians. One senator, Cato the Elder, ended nearly every speech with the same warning: Carthage must be destroyed. Eventually, Rome decided to eliminate its old rival forever. In 149 BC, the Third Punic War began. This conflict was less a war than a long and brutal siege. For 3 years, the people of Carthage resisted with extraordinary determination. Men and women worked day and night producing weapons. According to ancient accounts, women even cut off their long hair to make ropes for military catapults. Finally, in 146 BC, Roman forces broke through the city walls. Street by street, house by house, the fighting continued until almost nothing remained. Thousands of people were killed, while tens of thousands were captured and sold into slavery. The magnificent city of Carthage was burned and completely destroyed. Although the famous story that Rome salted the earth is probably a later legend rather than historical fact, the destruction itself was very real. Rome had erased its greatest rival from the map. The Punic Wars transformed history forever. Rome became the undisputed master of the Mediterranean. Its victories opened the path toward building one of the greatest empires the world has ever known. But these wars also left powerful lessons. They demonstrated that brilliant leadership can overcome overwhelming odds, that determination can change the course of history, and that even the greatest victories often come at an unimaginable human cost. More than 2,000 years later, the name Hannibal is still remembered as one of history's greatest military geniuses, while the story of Rome and Carthage continues to inspire historians, soldiers, and storytellers around the world. The Punic Wars were not just battles between two nations. They were the moment when the future of the ancient world hung in the balance, and when the fate of an empire was decided forever.